Regular freezes or medium drink for $1. It's the happiest time of the day. Taco Bell is locally owned and operated and is looking forward to serving Wildcat fans. Stay safe, bear down, and live Moss.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station, your home for the NFL, regular season, playoffs, and Super Bowl. It's Wildcats Radio 1290.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
I will always remember my teammates, my coaches, and Wildcat Nation for their endless support. But specifically, my favorite memory will have to be us going on our foreign trip to Israel and Abu Dhabi. That was one of the best experiences of my life, and always remember, chop wood, if you know, you know.
But my favorite memory has to be that first game back in Arizona Stadium. It was week 1. We were ranked top 20 in the country. It was a packed house. And you know, Tucson always brings the juice. It was my first game back in almost 2 years coming off an injury. And I was just so ecstatic to be back out there. We dropped 61 points. It was my first win as a Wildcat. That night was definitely special and definitely one I'll always remember. Bear down.
Caleb Love, Ryan Stewart among the graduates for Arizona Athletics this week. The pomp and circumstance. Commencement. They held the athletes' graduation today. Of course, satellite graduations, I believe, began yesterday all across campus for the many thousands of young people that are getting their degrees at the University of Arizona this week. The main ceremony will be on Friday night. Tomorrow night, 7:30 at Arizona Stadium. Should be one impressive event for the graduates. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program today. DK on the Sports Tip. Where do these years go? I mean, it just flies by. It seems just like yesterday. It was the fall. We were talking football and volleyball and getting geared up for another academic athletic year. And here we are at the end, for me, year number 17 here covering the University of Arizona. I have seen a lot of athletes come and go. It's crazy. Just I was looking at some of the pictures that were popping up on the social media on Mother's Day. Some of the athletes now who have children. Trevin Wade, I remember one of my originals. He popped up on my page this weekend. Of course, Nick Foles and many more. As you hang around long enough, you're going to see a lot of people. It's funny. I started thinking about it last night. And I was like, yeah, 17 years is a long time. I don't know that I'm going to get to the point like where Brian Jeffries is, where he's now starting to call games of sons and daughters of grandchildren of people that were here that he initially called at the University of Arizona. Obviously, Jalen Harris comes to mind, and his dad, Sean Harris, having played at the University of Arizona, and Chester Burnett comes to mind. His son, Kean Burnett, now here at the University of Arizona. And there's so many more on that list. When you've been around as long as Brian has been around 37 years, that you're going to get that. I don't know that I'm going to get to that point where I have the kids of the kids here and have a chance to cover them and be a part of them. But, man, did the years fly by.
I mean, Steve Kerr's got 4 grandkids, right? So
does he really?
Yeah,
Wow.
he does.
Oh
So one of these days, Brian's going to be doing calls of a player who he did in the 80s grandkids. Could happen. You never know.
Could very well. It's always a great opportunity to kind of reminisce about the year, the school year, and great memories that we had with all of these young people. Maybe not this year. Maybe going back over the entire course of their years here at the University of Arizona. We have a short show today. We're only going to be with you for about an hour and 20 minutes. We've got Arizona baseball coming up for you at 4:20. Brian Jeffries and company on the road down in the great state of Texas. Houston, to be exact. They'll be in Houston this week and then in Dallas next week for the Big 12 tournament, the final Big 12 series of the season against the Houston Cougars will commence tonight, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this week, and we'll have all of those games right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. And then, of course, softball is home. It is the NCAA tournament, the Tucson Regional, the 27th time that the Wildcats have hosted a regional here in Tucson, and we had a chance to chat with them as well today over at the Giddings building. So it's so throughout the years they've generally for softball held the media sessions I'm trying to remember going way back. They've always kind of held them in the back of Hillenbrand Stadium. Kind of there's a nice little grassy area that they put in a few years ago when they built the complex out there. So they normally have it out there, but they've moved it this year for the regionals into the Giddings building and the old Giddings Gymnasium, which is no longer a gymnasium. I guess it's now just a classroom, a very
dance studio,
large
right?
classroom. Yeah, and I had never. I was telling people, I've been here 17 years. I'd never actually been in that building until today. You walk by it all the time. I've walked through, there to cut across, maybe to go to the tennis complex or whatnot, but I'd never actually been inside a classroom or a room at the Giddings Gymnasium. Called a few home runs at softball that landed on top of the Giddings building, but had never actually been inside of the facility until today.
I did as a student way back in the 90s, but DK, the last time I was in that building was 4 years ago for COVID shots.
Yeah.
So that's the building they were giving out. So I went there for my second round of COVID shots when that was all going on, was taking place there in the Giddings building.
See, it's funny you said that because people, when they a couple of people mentioned that today, that this is where they had the COVID shots, and I thought they were it didn't dawn on me that it was actually the vaccine shots.
Yeah.
I thought they were talking about the COVID shots, like they were taking pictures there or something. Maybe athletics was using that to take pictures or something during COVID. I didn't actually realize that's what they were talking about when they said COVID shots, because I never got my shot there. I think I got a number of different places, but I never got any of my shots at the Giddings building. So
yeah, really kind of surreal, like long line, distancing, all of that. Like my last memory of the Giddings, but that place has been around for a minute, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not like a new spot on campus.
No, not at all. Not at all. So we'll let you hear coming up from Devin Netz. She was one of the many graduates today at the University of Arizona in the athletics graduation. So Devin, it's busy. It's there aren't a lot of years, and it's awesome when the ladies get a chance to participate, because sometimes they're on the road. Like baseball's on the road today. So those seniors will not have an opportunity to actually take part in the pomp and circumstance of graduation week. So they had the young ladies today. They were awarded the opportunity to walk first at the athletes' commencement ceremony because they had a practice they had to get to at 11 a.m. So they were there. They went across the stage, and then they hopped out, got their cleats on, and went out to get ready to take on Santa Clara, a team that has never been to the NCAA tournament. Santa Clara Broncos, this is the first time they're in this regional. It's the first time they've ever been to the NCAA tournament.
I think it's been 34 years, and I think Santa Clara is still a bad word on campus because of Steve Nash when he was a freshman.
Yeah.
That was a bad day.
Absolutely.
For those who aren't aware, we do have a short show. I don't know if we'll get to the whole thing, but that first little clip we played of Caleb and the seniors, all the senior athletes, the U of A just posted about 2 hours ago about a 10-minute video of every senior Arizona athlete, DK, and you're mentioning how not all, because of spring sports, you're obviously on the road in Houston. You're not going to be able to be celebrating with your teammates. To a person, almost all of them said their favorite moment as an athlete at the U of A was hanging with their girls, hanging with their boys.
Right.
Like almost every single one of them just talked to the camaraderie, the trips, and just those special moments they get to spend with each other. So I'm sure the baseball team, the seniors on the team, not being able to be in Tucson for this week, being with each other, there's that camaraderie. But all those athletes who are in town, who had fall sports or whatever, definitely enjoying getting back together. Because if you think about that, the practices have maybe long passed, And now you have this commencement coming back around where everybody's getting back together. And yeah, it's just a great time to be an Arizona Wildcat.
Well, and it was like Caleb said there. You would think my fondest memory, not hitting the shot, half court, 3/4 shot to tie the game against Iowa State and then win in overtime. Not 2 trips to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament. It was the foreign trip that they took a few summers ago over to Abu Dhabi, and just the connections you make and the experiences you get to have with, like you said, with your guys and with your girls on those trips where it's just you and your team and your coaches and the bonding that gets to happen in situations like that.
That's why the time goes by so fast, DK, is because you get to be, some people meet the best friends they'll ever have in their entire lives during their 4 years in college. And when you're hanging out with your best friends, time goes by so much faster because you're really enjoying those moments. And yeah, it's rough when it comes, those 4 years go by so fast, DK, and having to look in the mirror and reminisce, like, didn't I just do freshman orientation last week?
Right. Exactly. Bear Down and the alma mater have a different feel to them this week as the college experience comes to an end for many of our not just student athletes, but many of our students here in Southern Arizona. In fact, the folks that live below us, the woman that lives below us, her boyfriend, his daughter is graduating from the U of A this weekend, so he's got his mom out here from Michigan, so they've all been out. We've been kind of hanging out with them.
I can tell they're all here because the roads the last few weeks have been okay, but this week, a little busier.
If you're trying to get to campus today or tomorrow, a lot of the streets are kind of blocked off. You can't get in. Maybe some of the routes that you're normally used to, especially if you're going to be going out to softball tomorrow night. Plan ahead because tomorrow's going to be a really, really busy day. As well, I drove down University Avenue on my way back from the softball press conference, and it was jumping. It was kind of like a fall Friday, like when we're out there for Bear Down Friday. A lot of parents, a lot of kids eating lunch out on the patios, enjoying these. It's starting to get a little hot. See, I would say enjoying some of these nice spring temperatures, but it is starting to get a little bit hot. It's going to be a little bit of a scorcher out there at Hillenbrand Stadium probably this weekend, but that's what it's all about. That's what we're used to that. Come this time, come regional time, temperatures start to go up, get a little bit closer to 100 degrees. That's when you know that the baseball and the softball is actually starting to mean something. And we've also got the track team. They're over at their Big 12 championships this weekend competing as well. So there's a lot still happening on the athletic front at the University of Arizona. And we'll have all of that coverage coming up for you over the course of the next month or so.
According to the meteorologist models, 89 Saturday.
89.
Is the high. That's not bad at all.
No, I remember my first regional here in 2009. Was it 8 or 9? 9. I swear to God, it was 95 degrees.
Yeah.
I was telling Randy Bowler, who's the SID for women's basketball. I was telling her today. I was like, "Yeah, my first." I was like, I remember back when they didn't have an air conditioned press box. It was like we had fans up there. It was like opened but covered but open, and it was kind of like a sauna up there when you would get to the NCAA tournament time. Now you guys have the luxury of an air-conditioned facility. And again, that's...
When I was your age in the press box.
Right. It's like when, I don't know if you hear that segment on JR Sport Brief when they talk about this day in sports history, and I think there's a line in there that's taken from an old SNL skit, I think, with either Dana Carvey or one of those guys, and the guy's like, the old man is like, we have radio and it was primitive and you couldn't see anything.
Right.
Yeah. Back in the day when there was no air conditioned press box at Hillenbrand Stadium. Boy, how things have changed. One thing that will not change is it's going to be a raucous atmosphere for the Arizona Wildcats this weekend as they try to win a regional championship and get back to the Super Regionals.
Santa Clara, Ole Miss, Grand Canyon?
Grand Canyon, yeah. So it'll be Santa Clara in Arizona in the early game tomorrow at 4:30. Then the late game will be Grand Canyon, as you mentioned, against Ole Miss. Ole Miss's pitching coach none other than Nancy Evans, one of the greatest to ever do it here at the University of Arizona.
I bet she gets the biggest round of applause of any single person.
Oh yeah,
tomorrow,
Seems like
Saturday.
all of our coaches end up in Mississippi. You got Nancy Evans at one Mississippi school, and you got Taryn Moet at the other Mississippi school down there. Both again, two of the greatest to ever do it here at the University of Arizona. Great to see Nancy kind of back in it. She was a coach here for a number of years. She actually, I think, left right before I got here. I got here in 08. I think she left around 06, 07. So I never had a chance to be around her when she was a coach here, but good to see her back and imparting all her knowledge and wisdom on the pitchers of today. All right, 520-848-1290. We're going to get a break in here. No Desiree Reed-Francois. Desiree's running around doing a whole lot of stuff over there with the athlete convocation and other things today. We are going to talk, though, in studio. PJ Brown is going to join us in studio at 3:40. Again, she'll be with us for the last two segments. This is only a 3-segment show today, or is that? Or we're 4 segments. 1, 2. I don't know my math.
Math's hard.
Yeah,
man.
4 segments today. So she'll join us for the last 2 segments as we take you into Brian Jeffries and Arizona baseball coming up at 4:20. So short shows today and tomorrow with the early start times in the Central Time Zone.
By the way, Houston 91, 91, 91 the next 3 days. They're not expecting rain.
Yeah, so it'll be good. It'll be and we'll be good in Dallas because they're playing indoors next week, so that won't be any issues at all either. Cricket is here. She's getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported at Valencia and Camino de la Tierra, Irvington at I-19, Valencia at I-19, also 22nd Street and Kolb. Some backups on northbound Nogales Highway approaching Old Nogales Highway. 59 the overnight low, sunny 92 tomorrow and 86 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay. Swapping out your tires? There's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at the prices you'll love. eBay. Things people love.
AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall is your premier automotive destination in town. Explore the new 2025 Honda models and extensive collection of pre-owned vehicles. Experience no-hassle financing and our no-haggle one-price selection. Visit AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall today.
It's the $10,000 quiz show. Okay, contestants, these are things that save you money. Ready? Here we go. It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
Tobacco Barn.
You pay no city or state sales tax because they're on
the Indian Reservation.
And save up to another $3 off with a coupon at
TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Excellent. Now for the big savings. At Tobacco Barn, you'll save up to
40% off?
And because they're on the reservation, you pay no
city or state sales tax.
And at TobaccoBarnTucson.com, you get
a coupon up to $3 off?
What you are if you waste your money shopping somewhere else.
Crazy?
Nuts.
Stupid?
A few tacos short of a combo plate?
Wow! Tobacco Barn, Tucson's most watched savings show. Nogales Highway just south of Valencia. Check your local listings or TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Yeah, Goodfellas AC.
Hi, can I get a second opinion from you guys on something?
Of course. It's what we're here for.
So, my wife's brother claimed he'd done some AC repair before.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and now there's kind of a rope and pulley situation that opens the freezer door and a fan inside turns on to cool off the house.
Huh, very creative.
Really?
No, not at all. Next time, call us first, yeah?
Yeah.
Call Goodfellas AC for free estimates and second opinions. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos. Fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/score. That's ethos.com/score.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
Most people in radio commercials talk really fast. But we made this one for RV owners. Progressive knows they like the slower pace of RV life, like this commercial. And they know Progressive will protect their RV at a fair price with discounts. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. Over in college basketball, defending national champion South Carolina has advanced to the regional semifinals for the 11th straight NCAA tournament. The top-seeded Gamecocks defeated Indiana yesterday, 64-53. South Carolina, who was playing on their home floor, actually trailed Indiana by a point at halftime. But the Gamecocks turned it on after the break, scoring 26 points in the third quarter, on their way to another postseason victory. Now South Carolina head coach Dawn Staley and her squad are one step closer to their fourth national title in program history.
Getting to a Sweet 16 is hard. It doesn't get old. It's not taken for granted, and we cherish the opportunity to move to the second weekend in the NCAA tournament.
You can hear South Carolina play in the Sweet 16 when our coverage of the women's tournament begins on Friday. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Jody Jackson on Westwood One.
In the face of uncertainty, some things remain steady, like the Cummins 2027 X15. Built on 25 plus years of experience and delivering up to 4% better fuel efficiency in a weight-neutral system, the X15 gives you the strength to move forward fearlessly and confidence that no matter the obstacle, you can and will rise above it. The 2027 X15, forever rising. Estimates based on preliminary testing. Individual results may vary.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/sports. Ethos.com/sports.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We've got NBA basketball tonight. Just one game, Oklahoma City and Denver. That'll be in Denver. And it is time for your BetMGM Network Top Play, which is all about the one game tonight in the NBA.
It's do or die tonight for the Denver Nuggets. I'm Sammy Pete, here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. Oklahoma City, a 4.5-point favorite at Denver tonight, game number 6. I like the points. Give me Nikola Jokic and company to keep this thing close, maybe even take it outright. I'm Sammy Pete from the BetMGM Network. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today. And please, gamble responsibly.
All right, that number is now 5.5. 5.5 for the Nuggets at the Desert Diamond Casino Sports Books. So if you take Denver and the 5.5 over the Thunder at -114, your $12.90 bet could get you back $11.35. $11.35 tonight. Can the Nuggets force a Game 7 and send it back to Oklahoma City, I believe? Would that be Saturday or Sunday potentially for that Game 5? There's no games left, really, so.
You know, I'd have to look it up, but I'm very sad because you just said the one game tonight, the one game tonight, the one game tonight. Did you know last night was the last day
they have 2 games?
That there will be 2 basketball games in the same day until next year. So until opening night for college basketball and the NBA season starts up again. So it's 1 game per night from here on out.
That is an indication we are getting close to the end of this thing. Celtics last night stayed alive with a 127-102 win over the Knicks. So that we had last night. Remember, we had the Celtics under 106.5.
Remember what I said?
You didn't like that at all.
No, I just thought like win one for Tatum, and they just been shooting so horribly from 3 in this series that they were due. You know, I don't believe in. I think law of averages is more than anything. So there was bound to have a game where they had some of their players knock shots down, and their defense really stepped up in that game. So yeah, there's a lot of pride. That's the reigning champions, right?
Yeah. So Celtics under 106.5 did not come to fruition. 127 was the numbers. They beat the Knicks by 25 points last night, 127-102. That is now headed to a Game 6 back in New York City tomorrow night. Also ending last night was the Warriors run. Now, we mentioned yesterday that Brandon Pajemski was struggling to shoot the ball, but he came out and fired it last night, scoring 28 points, but it was not enough as the Timberwolves knock out the Steph Curry-less Warriors. And Steve Kerr, 121-110 last night. Their season comes to an end. Let's hear, in fact, from Steve Kerr post-game after the Warriors were eliminated in 5.
Well, first of all, congrats to the Wolves. They were fantastic. Had a great series, beating us 4 games straight after that first one. Congrats to Chris Finch, Tim Connolly. They've done a great job here the last few years building this team, and back-to-back Western Conference Finals, pretty damn impressive. So it was a fight. Really proud of our guys. They hung in there and they battled the whole way through, and quite a turnaround in our season. From where we were a few months ago to giving ourselves a chance and having a swing at the plate, for some real chances to go deep, and we were right there, and obviously didn't go our way. But again, the Wolves were great; they deserved it, and I'm very proud of our team.
How difficult is the Steph aspect to this? Kind of the what if that you always live with?
Yeah, I mean, injuries are part of the playoffs. I learned a long time ago, the playoffs are really about health, and then just guys stepping up and making some big shots, big plays, in key games. That's what decides every series. And so we've been on both ends of that, and it's just part of it. So there's no sense in dwelling on it. And, I don't want to take anything away from what Minnesota just accomplished. So no sense in even talking about Steph.
How much carryover do you feel like there was from going 7 with Houston from the last series into this series, just the attrition that series required?
Well, we obviously came in here and won Game 1, coming right off of Game 7. So I don't think it was an issue. I thought Game 3 was the key to the series. We're at 1-1, and we've got a 6-point lead in the mid-fourth, and they made huge plays down the stretch of that game, and that was the one we needed to get. And then I thought the last 2 games they broke free offensively. I mean, they shot 63% tonight. We couldn't stop them. We actually did everything we wanted to accomplish. We dominated the possession game. We got 39 threes up, but 12 more field goal attempts, 15 more free throws. We did everything we needed to do to win the game. But they shot 63%. So ultimately, you've got to be able to guard and get stops, and we weren't able to do that.
All right, that's Steve Kerr talking about his team's loss last night, 121-110. Jonathan Kuminga took 23 shots off the bench for the Warriors in that game, 26 points. And we mentioned Brandon Pajemski, 11 of 19, so he finally had a good shooting night, but it just was not nearly enough. 17 from Jimmy Butler. Buddy Hield. They needed the Buddy Hield of the first series in this game last night, but he only managed 8 points.
I mean, Buddy Hield got open looks because Steph, gravity, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big difference if you watch that team play in the last 4 games versus the T-Wolves versus the first series, was that everybody, Pajemski, Butler, before his injury, everybody on the team got open looks. And obviously that's the case when you have the greatest shooter of all time. Back to Coach Kerr, DK, real quick, I had to look it up. 24-6 in series was Steve Kerr's record as a player.
Wow.
He won 24 NBA playoff series as a player. Obviously, Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan, a lot of players had a lot to do with that. 24-5-4 as a coach. So that's 48-10. He's won 48 playoff series in his career and lost. I mean, most franchises have sniffed like 30 playoff series wins, right? So, yeah, it doesn't take away from that Forrest Gump label that everybody throws at Coach Kerr. 48-10 all-time in playoffs as a coach and player.
All right, let's hear from Rudy Gobert and Anthony Edwards. Not satisfied just to get back to the Western Conference Finals.
For me, it was just about being present, try to enjoy the moment. I try to really focus on my preparation, and then once I'm on the floor, it's just about enjoying the moment, being present of both ends, try to set the tone for my team and for my teammates, and doing it with my energy, and then usually the game takes care of itself, but when you kind of like in that moment and enjoying that moment, you're just yourself, and I try to be that every night.
This was an entirely different ride to the conference finals from last year. Is there more satisfaction or anything just with all of the ups and downs that you guys went through that you stayed together and you're right back where you were last year?
There's no satisfaction.
Yeah, if
we just got here. We haven't done anything yet, so no, he's not satisfied.
That's exactly how it feels. It feels good to get to that step, but it's stomach is not full, not at all. It's just one step, and in a way, it's last year it felt different because it was a game 7. We down. I don't know how many at half, and we came back and won. So obviously, the adrenaline was different, right? But this year it's kind of like we sat down early in the season. We said we're gonna get back right where we left last year, and then we want to achieve our goal. And now we are halfway there. So it's we know that it's not gonna get easier at all, and we focused on that.
All right, that was Rudy Gobert as well as Anthony Edwards headed back to the Western Conference Finals. They'll await the winner of the other series between the Nuggets and the Thunders. Hey, this Friday, that's tomorrow. You got to get up early. We've got a sweet deal for you from Roadies, Lanes, Games, and Gastropub. It's a $50 Roadies game card. You can get it for just $25 tomorrow morning, bright and early, 8:30, over at WildcatsRadio1290.com. Roadhouse Cinema is proud to announce the newest addition to the family. It's called Roadies, Lanes, Games, and Gastropub. It is a family entertainment center. It's at the Crossroads Festival. Roadies features axe throwing, spark immersive bowling, arcade games, crazy darts. We still don't know what crazy darts are. State-of-the-art laser tag, 100 arcade games, and this is even more impressive. Big screens everywhere for all the action, and a sports bar with 2 giant 14-foot LED TVs, perfect to catch all of the latest games. Maybe they'll even have some Arizona baseball on up in there. Who knows? They've also got a full-service bar and a kitchen, great eats to please you. Kids are going to love this place, mom and dad. Gonna love this place. Roadie's Lanes Games and Gastropub. It is now open on the corner of Swan and Grant. This is my neighborhood, a little bit down from my neighborhood, but I've got to check it out because we go to Roadhouse Cinema on occasion. It's at the Crossroads Festival right there. And again, I've got a sweet deal for you. $50 worth of game card for just $25. It's a sweet deal, and you can get that tomorrow morning, 8:30, over at Wildcats Radio, 1290.com.
As if, margaritas and nachos in your lounge, your reclinable, soft lounge chair while watching a movie wasn't incentive enough.
Right.
Yeah, that's where we've always go. I grew up at Swan and River, DK, and I remember that when they were built that initially, the Crossroads area.
Right, yeah.
That's where Paige and that's our go-to. That's where we go to see movies for sure. So I'll go hang out and play some crazy darts one of these days.
There we go. Once we find out exactly what crazy darts are. All right, straight ahead, we've got a special guest in studio. There she is. PJ Brown is going to join us. We're going to talk some Arizona women's basketball, Arizona athletics, writing, journalism, all that good stuff with PJ Brown. Straight ahead. It is DK on the Sports Tip. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions that are reported at Ina and Meredith, 22nd Street and Kolb, and also Valencia and Camino de la Tierra. Some backups on northbound Nogales Highway approaching Old Nogales Highway. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Arizona Lottery.
When you play the Arizona Lottery, there's always a chance you'll win big. But there's also a guarantee that you'll be giving back to the community. There's joy in it all. Love the play with scratchers, draw games, and more from the Arizona Lottery.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust. Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits. A $2,000 value, free.
Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-289-6215. That's 800-289-6215. 800-289-6215.
You wanted to see me, Ron?
Yeah, see that woman sitting there? When did we hire her?
Oh, we didn't hire her. It's Take Your Mom to Work Day.
I've never heard of that.
Saw it on the internet.
Oh, boy.
Hey, guys. It's neat that Gary has a mom and all, but shouldn't we be talking about Alaskifications?
That's why I brought Mom in.
I'm sure she's a lovely lady, but she can't promise a 1-year no-breakdown guarantee the way Alaskan AC does.
Nope.
And she doesn't promise lower energy bills the way Alaskan AC does.
Nope.
And she doesn't make sure people's air conditioner lasts longer than average, the way Alaskan AC does.
Nope. But she sings.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaskification, it will always blow strong.
Wow.
Double wow.
Thanks, Mom.
Anything for the president of the company. How long have you two boys worked for Gary?
Gary!
Hey, gotta go. Promise to take Mom to lunch. Bye.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaskification, it will always blow strong.
Schedule now at AlaskanAC.com.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 16th through the 26th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Hi, you know me, Scott Lehman from ScottSaysYes.com. Check out this month's Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar powered by Premier Auto Center.
Visit the Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar at wildcatsradio1290.com to find out what community events are coming up in the Tucson area. You can also find Wildcats Radio 1290 events, upcoming sporting events, and more. Get the details and get involved with our community at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Go to ScottSaysYes.com today.
So hot. Hi, can I help you?
Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team.
But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought, this AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. Goodfellasac.com.
Burgers sound great. Let's find a spot nearby. Wow, nothing? Oh well. Everybody okay with pizza instead?
Can she seriously not see us?
No, she can't. Time to get a boost. Get found and get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
This is Bill Ryder with a Sportsman sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. The next great thing in the NBA is Anthony Edwards. Winning ways were on full display as the Timberwolves close out the Warriors to advance to their second consecutive Western Conference Finals. Already in his career, Ant has beaten Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Nikola Jokic, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Stephen Curry. And the best is yet to come. Don't lose track of the fact that Ant is now the game's most important player. I'm Bill Ryder.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone.
Well, I do need a bundle of things.
When you bundle, you save.
Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter?
Save up to $12 on that bundle.
What about brake pads and rotors?
Bundle those and the brake pads are free.
Can't save more than free.
You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Duralast brake pads only.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Short show today. We've got you till about 4:20, so about another 40 minutes or so as we get you ready for Arizona baseball, Wildcats and Cougars. Brian Jeffries with the call from down in Texas. Special guest in studio right now. Pleased to be joined by longtime sports writer at the Arizona Daily Star, PJ Brown is in the house. I love to have people in the house. We had the Pima softball team that popped in on us yesterday for a little studio visit, and now we get PJ Brown in studio as well. PJ, glad to have you.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be. I've never been in your studio. I've never been in any radio studio, I don't think.
Well, welcome.
So it's cool.
There you go. Welcome. Yeah, it's not much. You know, we got a few things on the walls here, TV if we want to watch sports on occasion, and some mics so we at least makes us sound like we know what we're talking about. You had been with the Arizona Daily Star for a long time. You recently stepped away from that, but covered the Arizona women's basketball team for how long? How many years did you cover the team? About pretty much the entirety of the
Adia Barnes era. Yeah. The only reporter to cover her for her entire career. here.
Okay, well, we thought let's start there. We thought Adia Barnes was going to be here for 20 years. We hope that you'd be covering that for 20 years. Why in your mind is Adia Barnes not the head coach of this basketball team anymore?
Oh, I think that's really simple. I think that once she did not get extended in her contract, she had one more year remaining. Usually, you extend a women's basketball coach well before her fourth year, or his or her fourth year. And when that didn't happen, the handwriting was on the wall that it was time for Adia to look for another job. That was pretty much the main thing. The other thing is obviously when you're not investing. I'm going here right away. My hot take.
Go there.
I wrote a column about it in November. Everybody can go back and look at it. When you're not investing in women's basketball, and that's not just paying the coach. Paying the coach is one thing, to have a good coach who has earned that salary. But when you don't invest in the program, in today's day and age, you cannot compete with the top programs in the country. And when that happens, if you're a coach worth your medal, your choice is easy. You have to leave, no matter how hard it is. I'm telling you that Adia Barnes loves Tucson. It will always have a special place in her heart. She picked Tucson twice. You could even say 3 times. She went to school here and became, if not the greatest player in program history, 1A and 1B with Ari McDonald. She came back to coach, and the first time somebody really tapped on her shoulder and said they wanted her, she stayed.
Yeah.
And so this was her home. She loved it here. It was not an easy decision, but when you look at, as anybody would look at their own career in that situation, the best thing for her to do is she's in the best spot for her right now. She has a school that really wanted her. They really went after her. That athletic director really, it was the first thing he did was get rid of the old coach and hire Adia. The very first thing he did as athletic director. He didn't even take a breath. He just went out to hire Adia Barnes. He wanted her. They're giving her what she needs to succeed in that program. And, that's, if you're just a regular person in a regular job, it's the same thing you want. You want your employer to set you up to succeed. You want them to give you the resources so you can do your job to the best of your ability. And she's getting that at SMU. She wasn't getting that here at Arizona. And it was just going to get worse with the fact that nobody wants to talk about this, but it's all about money now.
Yeah,
it's all transactional, right?
Oh, yeah.
People, just players, they should be getting paid. I believe that. We're in the day and age where they should be getting paid. And if you don't have the money to pay them, you're not going to field a team that's going to be competitive like it was, right? It went from Arizona, the program went from under Nia Butts not being one of the worst Division I programs, right? Power 4 programs, Power 5 programs. Adia Barnes built it up, and there was no way to sustain that. And that's the whole crux of this whole thing.
So let me ask you then, where does that investment need to go? Because like you said, she was being paid. They were, I don't know if they were flying charter the whole time, but they were flying charter, I think, for a large portion of it. People look at that as like, okay, let's get the kids back as quickly as we can, not put them on commercial flights and that kind of thing. Are we strictly talking about now when we're in this state of where it's revenue share and where it's NIL? Is that primarily what we're talking about here? Or are you talking about other areas where they also needed to be putting money?
It's that, and it's other areas. For example, the charters, they got cut back in the last year, especially this past year, because as we all know, when we go to the grocery store and when we go buy gas, everything's gone up,
Yeah,
right? When we
right.
go to travel, hotels cost more money. Everything costs more money. The only way for them to keep, the budget, they say maybe got cut, but it's really, it stayed even. It may have gotten cut a little. And the only way to do that is then to cut, right? Is then to take things away that you already had. So they didn't fly, they were flying charter for all their games in the past, since the pandemic. This year they didn't. They were flying commercial. They bused. They bused to Palm Springs. And it's really hard. I mean, I remember back in the first year or two, they flew commercial all the time when she first started here. And every Sunday night after a weekend away, they would fly back and they would get stuck somewhere. And they wouldn't get home till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And a lot of those players had to go to school the next morning because it's Monday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. It happened like every single time that they got stuck.
Crazy.
So that's crazy. So it's that. In my column, I wrote that it's been about 21 years since the basketball offices have been redesigned.
Right.
The plans were all set. They had the money. It never happened for whatever reason. That's something that recruits look at when they walk in the door. We'll talk about the money and that they get paid in a second, but the same things still that attracted kids before are still going to attract them, right? They still want to see like nice looking offices. Their offices were fine. I'm not saying that, but they're not compared to others in the country who they're going to be competing against. It doesn't look the same. And when you think about it, how could it? It's been 20 plus years since they've redesigned them, right? There's all those kind of stuff that just normal things that happen with the program day in and day out, whether it's, you want to be up on all the recovery stuff and all of that. And U of A may be, right? So I'm not, but I'm saying that every little detail has to be high level elite. And then you get to paying the kids, right? The revenue sharing wasn't going to be there. We've all heard the numbers floated around.
Yeah.
Most schools that are competitive are getting between about $800,000 to well over $1 million.
This is just women's basketball.
Women's basketball to compete.
Yeah.
I mean, last year we heard that Nettie Vonleh, who played here as a freshman at Arizona, went to Baylor for about $400,000. Well, that's just about your entire revenue sharing right now. So you're not going to get a top center for that, right? So that plus they never had a collective just for women's basketball. They used to have a collective for all sports but football. Then they moved the men's basketball and they have a men's basketball collective, but they never replaced it with anything else. Now they sort of have an excellence thing, but they've never really explained what it is. It's not for NIL. It's for the other things, operations in a program. It's not specifically for NIL. So there are all these things that Arizona seems to be behind on. And the more, as you take steps backwards, it's harder to catch up. And I think that that's part of what's been going on, that in the last couple of years, and especially now, they just don't have the money, the resources to, compete. So you may be recruiting top kids. You may be 2, right? Like 1-2 on that kid's, like, I want to go there. I want to go to that school. And then when there's no money, they're going to look at the other place that's throwing money at them, right? And so that becomes the problem. You're not then getting the top kids, and then, you can't develop them and compete.
PJ Brown joining us, longtime journalist here, Arizona Daily Star, writing on the Arizona women's basketball beat. Do you believe that, and here's how I've always explained this. Because I've been here 17 years now. So I was here. I got here with the beginning of the Anaya Butts era. So I've been in through 2 coaches now. And I tell people all the time, Naya had the same transfer issues that we saw at the end of the Adia era. The girls left. But the difference is that, the women that were leaving during Naya's era weren't like top players. And they weren't going and having, these great careers at other places. And I think there was a narrative that developed in the last few years that she couldn't get along with her players. Do you believe that was the case? Was there a connection issue between Adia and the women that were on that team?
Not at all. Not at all. That wasn't a problem. Again, the world has changed. In the past, when people transferred and they had to sit out a year, remember?
Right. Yeah.
Remember the Aries group sat out with TT and Dominique, TT Starks and Dominique McBride. And then Shayna Pellington also sat out a year. Then after that, because of COVID, they said, you can transfer and play right away. What happened before was sometimes you make a mistake, right? You go to a school and it turns out not to be right. You don't want to work so hard, right? You don't want to work so hard. Or you realize, wow, when she said we play defense here, we play defense, right? Like, and you're
they
like,
didn't really
whoa.
believe that they were going to be playing.
Yeah. So it could have been that. Maybe you're not getting the playing time that you thought you wanted to get. And that's still a little bit of what happens now. And that was a few years ago, the majority of what happened. I remember one time Adia Barnes saying, they all come to me and say they want more playing time. And this is when Ari was there and Sam. And she's like, fine. Who are you taking minutes away from Ari? Like, you're not Ari McDonald, right? So that's a lot of it. And then now it becomes about the money, right? So there are a lot of things across the board. But there are a lot of other schools where lots of kids go, lots of kids leave. So this year, I think 9 or 10 kids, a lot of kids left Indiana. And Terry Moran is a great coach. She's a top coach in the country.
A lot of kids left UCLA.
Yeah, a lot of kids left UCLA. I heard that Corey Close said she didn't know before, like, how hard it was to keep that many talented kids happy, right? And that's part of it, right? Because there's a lot of this going on. And then you throw in the money. In February, kids were being talked to about possibly transferring and getting money. Coaches can't reach out directly, but they go to the AAU coach, or they go to their former high school coach, or somebody they used to play with, or something like that. And so there was all this stuff. They don't call it tampering anymore, but let's face it, it's what we all call tampering. It's happening all over. So you throw that in. So like in February, when you've sort of maybe hit the wall, but it's the end of the season, and then you have March, which is postseason. If you're a player, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, wow, I could get money somewhere. And yet you're still playing.
Yeah.
And you're playing at the most important time of the year.
Right.
That's a lot to handle.
Yeah, absolutely. PJ Brown joining us. We're going to get a break in here. We're going to keep her for our final segment of the show. I probably should have scheduled you on a day we had a whole entire hour, because there's about 10 other things that I want to get into with you, but we won't have time to get into. But you live here, so we can always bring you back and have you on again. PJ Brown in studio, DK on the sports tip. Much more straight ahead. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions reported Broadway and Craycroft and Broadway. Collision at Sabino and River Road and Sabino Canyon, and some slowing at that intersection. And some backups on northbound Nogales Highway approaching Old Nogales Highway. 59 the overnight low, sunny and 92 tomorrow and 86 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Arizona Lottery.
When you play the Arizona Lottery, there's always a chance you'll win big. But there's also a guarantee that you'll be giving back to the community. There's joy in it all. Love the play with scratchers, draw games, and more from the Arizona Lottery.
Lowe's knows that summer starts with Memorial Day deals. Right now, select paint, primer, and stains, or buy one, get one 50% off via Visa gift card rebate. Plus, get 2 select 1.5-gallon annuals hanging baskets for just $15. Shop these Memorial Day deals before they're gone. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 5/28. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Annuals offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Hello, Tucson. Alex Medina here, owner of Oral Ford. We have great news. Ford Motor Company is extending employee pricing through May, but I'm going beyond and selling all your favorite Fords for $1,500 under Ford employee pricing. Oral Ford is striving to be your #1 Ford store in Tucson with no ridiculous dealer add-ons, and you always save 2% in taxes. Plus, $1,500 better than Ford employee pricing. Exclusively at Oral Ford. Drive a little, save a lot.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text CUT to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text CUT to 42424. That's CUT to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Think Tucson is a boring place with nothing to do? Wrong. Roadhouse Cinemas is proud to announce the newest addition to the family, called Roadie's Lanes, Games, and Gastropub. It's a family entertainment center. Roadie's features axe throwing, spark bowling, crazy darts, state-of-the-art laser tag, 100 arcade games with an uber-cool redemption center, big screen TVs everywhere for all the action, and a sports bar with 2 giant 14-foot LED TVs perfect to catch the latest game. Roadie's also has a full-service bar and kitchen serving up great eats to please everyone. So come on down and check out Tucson's newest and best family entertainment center. Kids are gonna love it, and so will Mom and Dad. Roadie's Lanes, Games, and Gastropub, now open on the corner of Swan and Grant in the Crossroads Festival.
And this Friday, we've got a sweet deal for you from Roadies. You can get a $50 Roadies game card for just $25. And this sweet deal will go on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at WildcatsRadio1290.com.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
I don't have to tell you it's hot. Hi, this is Ron from Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Make sure your home is cool and comfortable all summer long. Routine maintenance can often prevent major breakdowns. Call us before the first sign of trouble. Call today, 520-492-0748 or picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We talk Diamondbacks baseball daily.
Overall, inside of our culture, it's built on love, trust, commitment, and effort. And I think love is the glue to all of it.
Love, trust, commitment, and effort. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, final segment of our show today. Short show. We've got Arizona baseball coming up from Houston. Brian Jeffries on the call. He'll be joining us here at 4:20. We are pleased to be joined in studio by one PJ Brown, longtime sports writer. See, I told you the camera would go away eventually. It lasted right up in the first segment, and then it wanted to go away. That's what we're dealing with on live radio. We have cameras that want to go rogue on us. So we'll get PJ's camera back up there. While we're doing that, let's hear, again, we were talking at the top of the show, athlete commencement today. We had a chance to catch up with Devin Netz, who talked about participating in the commencement ceremony over at the McHale Center this morning.
Go through the graduation ceremony, and then you just hustle over here and, go to softball practice.
Being like a student athlete, you wish you'd have like one day to yourself to be like, you know what, I did this. I completed, it's been 23 years of, grinding in the books as well. And I think this is something that you're like, oh, I wish I had like one day. But you know what, softball is something that has been a part of this journey, and it's given me the chance to not only, play softball on one of the greatest fields, in the country, but also just it's given me so many different opportunities just to play at the highest level. And so, quite honestly, if it wasn't for softball, I probably wouldn't be here pursuing my academic dream. So, if anything, I gotta tip my cap to both sides and thank both people, all my professors, and my coaches as well. But honestly, it was cool, being able to smile, look like a girl, feel like a girl for a little bit, and then put my curls up and, put my cleats on and have a day for an hour and a half.
Kind of a follow on the graduation topic. Are you going to try to attempt to make the stadium graduation after the game tomorrow?
I wasn't planning on it, but, I think one graduation's enough for me. But I also have my College of Medicine graduation tomorrow, but I'm okay with my athletic one.
Devin Netz, PJ, what an incredible story that is for that young lady to miss all of last year and come back and win Big 12 Player of the Year and lead her team back into another postseason.
Absolutely. The one thing that I noticed, I listened to that press conference earlier today, and Caitlin Lowe touched on this a little bit, but what I think is so amazing about Dev, and I really enjoyed covering her, she's pretty darn honest, and she really tells you like it is, and I talked to her earlier in January for our special section on softball and baseball. I did a big story on her about what she went through last year and what it took for her to come back to play. But if you look at her career, it was incredible. I mean, that freshman year, she hardly played, and then she played a little bit more. And if you were to look at her as a freshman or even as a sophomore, even when they took that run to the NCAAs where her and Hannah Bowen, they shut everybody down to get to the World Series, and that was incredible. But you're like, Devin's your ace. But you didn't really think like she was going to become what she became. The trajectory of her career is pretty darn incredible. She's one of the top 10 players in the nation right now. Think about that. And she's going to go pro. She's playing in the new Athletes Unlimited softball league. Really incredible. And I have to say, this is part of what college softball is about when you think about it. Like, you come into a storied program. You're not starting right away. You play a little bit here and there. You show a little bit of what you can do, but through the coaching and your hard work, you become one of the best players in the country. That is just incredible.
Talk about coming back. People maybe don't know your story. You were covering Arizona women's basketball at the NCAA tournament last year in Yukon, and you fell on ice in stores and suffered a concussion that you're still recovering from well over a year later.
That's correct. It's been a long recovery. I'm close to being at the end. We're really close. We're just hoping some of these final therapies just push me over the edge. It's interesting with a concussion because it hits everybody a little different way. You don't see it. I mean, you did see my black eye right away. You did see that, but it's not like a broken ankle. I had a broken ankle before. It's not like that where it's outward and you see it. Concussions are tough, and there are a small part of the society who have long-term like I'm having. Usually, as we watch the basketball players and other athletes have it at Arizona, a lot of them are just out for a week. right? Or just until they pass concussion protocol. That didn't happen for me. And I actually wrote through the entire thing. I didn't take a break. I just wrote through it. In the beginning, in fact, I got taken to the hospital 2 towns over, and they got me in an Uber and got me back to the arena, and I made it to the end of Adia Barnes' press conference. I watched part of practice, and I sat down and I wrote stories. And that's just how I went. Now, I was a lot slower in writing. Took me a while to get back to the speed and all of that. But, yeah, I just kept going. And I just felt like I was sent there with a purpose. These young women worked hard all year to get to this place, and they deserve to be written about. And so that was my job, so I had to do it. I've been through all kinds of therapy. I started with massage therapy, physical therapy, vision therapy, occupational therapy, all kinds of stuff. And each one has helped me to a different degree. It's just been, it's been a lot, put it that way.
What's your advice to young women who want to get into this profession, covering sports?
Yeah, it's a hard job, you know. As you know, you're asked to do a lot of different things, whether it's, you know, doing a video, writing a story, tweeting out or posting about events and news and breaking news and everything like that. But the things that I would say would be do your homework. Always do your homework, and do your homework before. So when you walk in, you feel a little confident that you know about your subject a little bit. Make connections. Build those relationships, whether it's with the coaches, the sports information people, the different people on the staff, or the players. It's not just with the players or the coaches. It's everybody around the program. Build those relationships, because it's really important, because when you need to get help and you need information, there are people there that can help you, but you have to build those relationships.
Yeah, I think that's the most difficult part for a lot of people is the relationship building part of that. How are you able to do that? What is your mechanism that you use to try to make sure that you can have those deeper relationships with people around programs?
Yeah, it's you know, we've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4. We went through 3 different sports information people for women's basketball, and I just always tried to get to know them a little bit as people. So spend the extra 5 minutes talking to them and asking them about what's going on, how their day is, what different things about them to get to know them. Even if it's, I used to do it even after a game when you're tired and you want to get home, just spend 5 minutes with them, you know, and that goes a long way, because they remember that. And then another thing that I always tried to do, I hope they'll all say that I tried to do, is I tried to thank them for helping me.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, that also goes a long way. So those couple things, and I don't know, but just being nice and kind and caring about who you're covering. So when you interview them, just don't, you know, it should be genuine. There should be no gotcha questions. There should just be, let's find out your story or what's going on or whatever. Again, that goes a long way. I know that even covering Adia Barnes in the beginning, you know, she's a little different. She's very dynamic. She was part of the media when she was a sideline reporter for the Seattle Storm for a while when she was playing overseas. And so she gets it. She told me once that she'll talk to just about any reporter. She just doesn't care. Like if they want a one-on-one with her, if it fits in her schedule, she'll do it. she was always very open and transparent. And I just remembered she just, always gave a great quote in the beginning and all of that. And I just didn't know. You just don't know. And then one day, she just, all of a sudden it seems like you have a relationship, right? Mm-hmm. Like a year in or 2 years in or whatever it happens to be. There's one point where something just clicks and you don't know what you did. You don't know what they did. They just get comfortable with you, maybe. Mm. I mean, I guess that's probably what happened, right? We just got comfortable with each other. Sometimes she knew where my questions were going, and she would just start answering in the middle of it, right? She was always accessible, which was helpful. But, there's a lot of other coaches that I've covered at the U of A who've been great, too, whoever it was, whether it was Clancy Shields or Laura Ionello or Jim Anderson, Caitlin, and Mike Candrea, right? Oh, yeah. The GOAT, right. Mike Candrea. Everybody's been, everybody was very nice and accommodating, I think, of the coaches that I covered.
PJ, will you come back?
Absolutely.
All right, because I know you got a lot of thoughts about the WNBA, and as we get into that season, and if folks have not heard, unfortunately, Ari McDonald released today by the LA Sparks, so we'll see if she can bounce or latch on with another team to continue her professional career. We will have PJ Brown back for sure here in the very near future. PJ, thank you, though, for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to wrap up our short show. We've got Arizona basketball straight ahead. It's the Wildcats and the Houston Cougars. Brian Jeffries will have the call. We will be back with you on Monday. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking today's Friday. Today's only Thursday. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. DK on the Sports Tip. Thanks to J-Dub. Thanks to Cricket. Thanks to Dragon Ball. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/score. That's ethos.com/score.
I'm Patrick Claybon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The full 2025 schedule has been released. Highlights include a trio of division games on Christmas Day. Kicking off Week 17, Netflix will air the first 2 games of the day as the Cowboys face the Commanders in Washington, followed by the Vikings playing host to the Lions. Prime Video will show the nightcap, Broncos at Chiefs. Another trio of star-studded matchups on Thanksgiving. The Packers at Lions on Fox to start the day, followed by Chiefs at Cowboys on CBS, and NBC finishing up with the Bengals and Ravens from Baltimore. Other notables include a Super Bowl rematch in Week 2 when the Chiefs play host to the champion Eagles, Kansas City with a league-high 7 primetime games. The Ravens and running back Derrick Henry agreed to a 2-year extension worth $30 million, $25 million guaranteed. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reporting the 31-year-old's $15 million per year average is the most ever for a running back over 30. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. rides in the know and price is so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
I'm Chelsea Messenger, helping you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. Let's take the under 7.5 runs between the Rangers and the Astros. The Rangers are a blistering 18-5 to the under this year in Arlington. Plus, we get a great pitching matchup. Jacob deGrom goes for Texas. Hunter Brown, who's 6-1 with a 1.48 ERA, goes for Houston. The Astros also have the second best bullpen ERA in all of baseball. Let's go under 7.5. Bet smarter and beat the book. Download the BetMGM app. Please gamble responsibly.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
I don't have to tell you it's hot. Hi, this is Ron from Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Make sure your home is cool and comfortable all summer long. Routine maintenance can often prevent major breakdowns. Call us before the first sign of trouble. Call today, 520-492-0748 or picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
Your home for everything Arizona Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290, KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
Arizona Sports Enterprises proudly presents University of Arizona Wildcat Baseball. Over 3,000 all-time victories, 284 major league draft picks, 190 all-conference players, 112 All-Americans, 43 postseason appearances, 18 trips to the College World Series, 4 national championships, a Tucson tradition for over 100 years. Now let's go live to the ballpark for complete coverage of Wildcat baseball from Arizona Sports Enterprises.
And a pleasant good afternoon to you from Houston, Texas. Arizona and the Houston Cougars opening up a 3-game Big 12 baseball series at Schroeder Park. Great to have you along. It is a warm, we'll call it a hot, muggy day here in South Texas. Final 3 games of the regular season for both these teams, and a lot on the line in particular for the Wildcats. Arizona entering play today with a record of 34-17. Cats are 16-11 in conference play. Houston sits at 28-22 overall, 11-15 in the Big 12. The Wildcats' situation is very simple. They want to finish in the top 4 in the final regular season standings. That earns those 4 teams a first-day bye at the Big 12 tournament, which starts next week in Arlington, Texas, about 250 miles north of here. In order for the Wildcats to do that, several things must happen. Number one, the most important thing is the Wildcats need to win this weekend, as many as possible. All 3 would be great. They need losses by TCU, Kansas, Arizona State, possibly Kansas State. The interesting part about this is that you've got 5 teams right now vying to get the 3 available slots. We're going to give the top spot to West Virginia. They need 1 win this weekend to secure the championship. So Arizona, ASU, Kansas, TCU, Kansas State, all trying to get into that top 4. Cincinnati kind of sitting in the background right now, so is Oklahoma State, but probably no chance in order to catch any of the teams mentioned. Pitching matchup tonight in Game 1 for the Wildcats, Owen Kramkowski, the right-hander out of Walden Grove High School, 7-4 record, 5.08 ERA. And for the Houston Cougars, Chris Cinta. He's a lefty out of Florida, transfer from Miami, 4-1 record of 4.35 earned run average. So the Wildcats lost 2 of 3 to Utah this past weekend, but they started to get things going offensively. It started late in that game on Saturday. Even though they lost that ball game, the last 3 innings, you could see the offense started to wake up, and then it definitely woke up on Sunday. We'll talk to Chip Hale about that coming up. And, you know, 2 of the guys that had contributions over that stretch, Andrew Kane and Easton Breifogel. We'll talk to Breifogel coming up about the final weekend as well. So plenty on the line for the Wildcats against a Houston team that, again, they're locked into Arlington next week. And the Cougars have been playing better ball. They've won 6 of their last 8. And, of course, this is their final home series, so there's some emotions involved there as well. Great to have you along from South Texas. Chip Hale coming up next. This is Wildcat Baseball from Arizona Sports Enterprises.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Chip Hill joins us. Game one between the Wildcats and the Cougars. Final weekend of the regular season. Chip, a lot to play for this.